Have you been incredibly successful in your business as a business owner or an entrepreneur? Or maybe you've been incredibly successful in your profession, in your career. And you have been thinking that you could turn that expertise and that brilliance and that knowledge into a consulting, advisory, coaching business, but you're not sure how to get started, or maybe you've looked into some things, but you haven't taken the leap. Well, today I want to share with you why people make huge mistakes when they decide to jump into the business coaching space, the consulting space, advisory space. I want to share the mistakes they make. I want to share why so many of them aren't successful and they fail, and many of them even go back and get jobs for someone else. I want to help you avoid the mistakes. But on this show, I also want to show you a faster path and a faster way to be able to do this. And it's taken me 15 years, well, not quite 15 years, but it's taking me over 10 years to really get to the place where I am now, where I want to teach you how you can have an incredible 7-figure, make millions of dollars as a coach, as a consultant, as an advisor, teaching people globally what you have been so successful at doing. So let's dive in. So when I first decided to start my coaching and consulting business, I was still in 2 of my businesses. I had not yet exited those. I had them running like a well-oiled machine, and I was, quite honestly, I was bored. But I had also sold 3 previous businesses to those 2, and I was ready to sell those 2. And I knew I wanted to step into helping people build businesses, because I worked with a business coach, and it was such a game changer and so life-changing for me that I thought, wow, this is my next thing. I want to take all of my many, many years of experience in business, in corporate, and building businesses for myself and selling those businesses, and I want to teach other people how they can do this too. Have you thought this? Is this something that's been stirring in you? But again, a lot of people go down the wrong path, and I made all of the mistakes, and that's exactly why I want to help you shortcut the process so that you can come out of the gate literally in a run, instead of crawling to the success that I did when I first came into this space. So I was running my 2 businesses, and I made the decision, hey, I want to help other people in their business. And so I had already been out networking. I'm sure you're probably doing that too, or have done that. And you already know a lot of business people, right? You already know a lot of people that you could help. And I started asking some of the business owners I knew, hey, I'm thinking about becoming a business coach. At that time, I called myself a business coach. And I said, but I want to make sure that I know what I'm doing. And I knew how to help people. I didn't know how to put the coaching business and the whole structure together. I'm going to talk about that. But I had a couple of people pay me some low fees and say, sure, you can help me. And when I saw the results that I helped them get really, really fast, I'm like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. But from there, I went down a lot of the wrong paths. And I want to talk about this path in particular. I invested into a coaching organization because they already had a lot of stuff built out. And I thought, wow, I was already building out sort of my own IP, my intellectual property, right? The stuff out of my head. I was already building that out. I had written a book. I had already created back then, again, we're talking almost 15 years ago, I had created this whole series of CDs around, it was called Business Boot Camp, and it was really around helping people build their business. And it was all the fundamentals and things that need to be in place, the things that I learned along the way. And as I started getting into this coaching organization, I realized, after investing a lot of money, I realized that their system and the cookie cutter process and systems and all of the things that they were teaching me were not in my area of expertise. And so it was very much like going back to school now to learn a whole new thing about business. Now, I'm not saying I didn't get any value from that, but ultimately I never used it. And I didn't use, maybe I used little pieces here and there, as when you get the knowledge, you can't unlearn it, right? But what really happened is I ended up taking a step back at some point because I wasn't making the money or even getting the clients that I wanted. Like, the clients I was working with were not the right fit. And everything just felt like, it felt so hard. And I thought it was easier when I just told people, hey, I'll coach you on whatever you need. That was easier than trying to learn somebody's cookie cutter system and their process. And it wasn't even in my area of brilliance or genius. So everything was just off. Everything was wrong. And yet I was still paying them. And so I took a step back. I actually almost quit coaching and consulting because I was so frustrated with my business. And I thought, this isn't what I wanted. I wanted to help people. I wanted to really work with the people that could really utilize my experience and my skills and my knowledge and everything that I already know. And I want to help them shortcut their success. I want to help them avoid making the mistakes and the pitfalls and all the things that I did as I was growing businesses. And through that, I realized that the system and the program that they had was just really out of alignment with what my expertise was. So I took a step back and I created what I call my Expert in You method. And then, now I've written a book around it. I have a whole marketing and media agency around it, but I also have the consulting and coaching side of this. And where that name came from is I thought, I want to help people take what they're already experts at doing, and I want to help them package, market, sell, and build that. And so that was the path that I went down. And when I did that, when I created this method for myself and I put this framework into place in my business exploded. Like I literally went from only making around $100,000, maybe a little bit more than that, to hundreds of thousands of dollars in a very short amount of time. And then when I hit my first million in my coaching business, it was just unbelievable to me. But it wasn't from what I was using in their system. And what I found through this whole process is that you've already got everything inside of you that you need. But then there's this next problem that I see out there in the marketplace. The first thing is you do not need a certification. You do not need to buy into a coaching franchise. I was in this organization, there were probably 200 people trying to be business coaches, trying to learn this company's systems, and nobody was having success. And when I sat back and I took a look at what I was doing and I redeveloped and restructured my entire business. So I started helping coaches and consultants package their brilliance, their expertise. So if they came to me and I would say, what was your background? And they would say, well, I was an expert in sales. Like I worked for these companies and this is what I did. I would say, build around that. Become a professional sales coach or a professional sales consultant teaching other people what you have done. And that was a faster path. And when people started making those shifts, their businesses started taking off, or maybe they had been struggling for a very long time. So teach what you know. That's the first thing. Teach the brilliance that you already, you've already invested the years and the money and the time and the heartaches and the pains and the mistakes to learn what you've learned. Do not throw that away for someone else's system. It's a long play for you to do that. So I come across coaches and consultants and they'll say, I want to buy into their system or their process. And we're talking about like franchises, licensing programs, things like that. And first of all, they're not cheap. They're very expensive with ongoing fees and costs. A franchise, for example, a coaching franchise, I know someone told me it's $75,000 to buy into that franchise. And after a year, he never even got a client. He didn't even have anything going. So he was actually the sales guy I was talking about. And when he made that shift on his own and bowed out of the franchise, his business took off. So the reason I'm telling you this is because if you can take what you already are so great at doing, that's your fast play. That is your fastest path. Now, here's the other thing. You don't have to exit your business yet to be able to launch a really high end, because I want to talk about most people go to the low end of coaching and consulting and it becomes a grind. And I want to talk about a faster path to making that first $1 million, 7 figures, whatever you want to say, or even millions. I want to talk about a faster path. You do not have to get out of your current business yet. You can actually launch this while you're still in your business. And that's what I did. I launched while I was still in my businesses. And then when my coaching and consulting took off and exploded, I'm like, okay, it's time to sell these 2 businesses. And that's exactly what I did. So as I had sold 5 businesses, that all gave me credibility to work with people and building businesses. That was all credibility, right? And I learned so much through all of that. And I even learned so much through the sales process, selling businesses. I sold through brokers. I also sold for myself where we did the sale. And I learned so much. So I knew I had a lot to teach people and a lot to help people do in their business to have more success. But I'm on a mission to help people become great business coaches and consultants, not buy into other people's stuff, but become brilliant coaches and consultants in business, teaching other people in the same industry, in the same field or related field, what you have already figured out. That is your gold. That's your gold mine that you can mine when you've got the right tools and you've got the right things in place. So here's what you need to do this. You need to figure out what that offer is going to be, what you're going to sell. And we say one offer to $1 million. But a lot of people when they make the decision that they're going to kind of go down this route, like, okay, I have something to teach people, they go into like little courses or they work with startups. And those are low value plays. So the reason for that is because they don't understand, they kind of get kind of brainwashed, I should say, in the online world or out there in the industry that this is the way to go. And this is what happened to me. I was bringing in clients, but again, my income kept hitting that 6 figures. Now that might sound great, but it's not when you can make 7. Okay, I'm just going to say, if you can make $1 million, why settle for 100,000? And not only that, you stay in a grind. At $100,000, you stay in a grind because you still have to consistently market, right? You still have to have things going. You have to be able to invest into your business, just like building any other kind of business. But here's a better play. When you package, market, and sell your brilliance in a way that I had to learn the hard way how to do this, and now I've been teaching this for years to people, when you package that in a way that people will pay you $50,000 or $100,000 or at the very minimum, $25,000 minimum, when you package that in a way where you're making that kind of money, now you've got faster plays to that $1 million or even more. And most people aren't doing this. They're going down the course route. Oh, I think I'll create a course and then I'll put that on autopilot and it will create passive income for me and it will be a legacy and all that sounds just wonderful, except the things that nobody tells you is the ad spend you're going to have. It's the fact that nobody knows you in that level. So you have to build a personal brand and they don't tell you that you have to have a huge audience or a lot of traffic. You have to be really well known to get people to even buy your low ticket thing. Oh my gosh, it's exhausting. Like those are great strategic plays to scale. When you're like, okay, wow, I've helped 100 people now build their business. Now I am going to put this into a course, or I'm going to put this. So you're building out the IP in real time with people, and then you can turn that into a course. But in the meantime, now you've already got the email list, you've got the traffic, you've got the personal brand, and now you can actually use that course as a downsell. So this is a top-down approach. This is like sort of flipping the model on its ear of what most people are out there teaching. Most people are out there teaching you start small and then you ascend people. Sell a little bitty low ticket thing and then you ascend them up to $50,000. Yeah, no, it doesn't happen. And here's why. The $50,000 clients are not going to be your $7 course buyers or book buyers. They want the fast path. They want the fast track. They want the speed. So money buys speed. We know that. And so I want to really flip your mind around how to do this differently. So imagine you are selling business owners globally, okay? So you're not selling in a way that's going to compete with you. You don't have to sell in your own city or in your own state or anybody that's competing with you. You don't have to coach them. You coach or consult other people, right? There's a lot of them out there. And when you go globally, now you've got an online business, so you can build this online. And there's so many ways to map this out and build this out. And that's what I help people do. So instead of creating a little bitty course, you're bringing in $50,000 clients. So you only need 20 $50,000 clients to have $1 million business. You only need 10 $100,000 clients to have $1 million business. And so do you see how much faster this can be? And if you're targeting people in the right way, with the right message, with the right offer, with the right marketing, all the things that I teach my clients to do, because I help them play at this top level, now you've got faster results, you've got better people that you're working with, and guess what? You'll get to use your real brilliance. You won't be like feeling like you're starting your business over again, working with people starting their business. You will feel like you get to actually step into your real brilliance and your zone of genius. And part of the reason I did not love my coaching business when I first started is because I was working with people that were too startup. They didn't have any money. They were in too much of the startup phase. It was a long haul to get them going and really get them going. But when you're playing at this higher level, you become a specialist, you become an expert, and you're targeting people that are at a higher level that can really benefit from your brilliance. And those people will have $50,000, $100,000. And then there's other ways that I teach my people how to build out their sales system so they're getting paid in full. So imagine $50,000 with one client hitting your bank account, or $100,000 with one client hitting your bank account. Those are the plays. Those are the power plays. And most people, in fact, I don't know really anybody out there teaching this except me. I'm the only one teaching how to take your brilliance, your expertise, and sell at that level. as a business consultant or a business advisor. So if you've already built a successful business, you have been a successful entrepreneur or an expert, maybe in a corporate position, and you're ready to go all in on your own success and teach other people what you have done so well. And here's the other thing, you already have the confidence, right? Because you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. It's just a much easier play. I don't know why I didn't think of this when I first got started. It would have just made my life so much easier. But I didn't know. I had to learn all these things. It took me definitely a decade to learn all of this, and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in investing it to try to figure it out. And ultimately I still had to figure it out myself. So that's why I wanted to create this. I want to open your mind to what you could be doing. Like, this is your next play. This is your next strategic $1 million power play in your business. And then whatever you decide to do with your business, whether that's exit, or maybe you've already exited and you're ready for your next thing, you are my people. And I would love to have a conversation with you around how you could do this at the high level, bring in the high clients, not the low tier clients. Like, all of that's great strategic power plays to scale when you've got a lot of money you can throw at it to build the traffic and all of that. But you could play at a higher level. The other thing that I learned along the way after lots and lots of investing, I mean, we're talking tens of thousands of dollars at a time. I've learned incredible strategies that can fast track clients. And so now all of those things get to come in and I get to teach them to you. If you are ready to do this and you're ready to kind of do it in record time, in record speed. So let's have a conversation. If this sounds great, if it's interesting to you, I only take on people that I believe can do this at that level, at which if you're an expert at what you do and you've had great success, you just have to put the right pieces in place. And as far as I know, I'm the only one in the world teaching this at this level with this kind of system. So I would love to have a conversation with you. Also subscribe to the show. We appreciate it. And book a call with me at acarden.com if you are ready to go all in and build $1 million business consulting, advisory, coaching type of business. And you want to do it in record time. Book a call, acarden.com. I love you. God bless you. Have an amazing day. And I'll talk to you in the next episode.